Okay, I'm going to be looking over the other half of chapter 2. I noticed I almost was done, but I only was like on page 60 or 70. And let's talk about product characteristics, right? I have a lot of things I can go over, but why don't we look at product features within a supply chain functionality, right? I'm gonna do a little advert. I can't. I try to talk about other products. Actually, I'm trying. I'm really trying. I try to see if I can queue in laptop products, but the only time I can find any good seasonal data or any suspicion is when I see people like this guy move. What's his name? Tech USA. Some guy like that does a bid. By the way, Bill Gates is there. Nintendo Switch. He's probably one of his best promoters. Right? So whenever he does a vid like this, right, PlayStation 5 sales start bumping up, right? Right? They boost up really high. So let's say it's always confused as seasonal data because you don't know how else to explain it. So let's say Review Tech USA does gives the PlayStation 5 a sexy graphical upgrade. All of a sudden, you see a spike in sales for PlayStation 5, right? And then what the data analyst does, because he doesn't look into people like this, is they just assume it's seasonal data and a supply chain graph, right? Well, that must be what it is, right? It's not cyclical. It's not anything else, right? It's just, I just look at that time series data. It's not because some YouTuber just advertised PlayStation 5 with like, 500K subscribers, 989K subscribers. Sorry, I'm going off stats from like a couple years ago. Yes, that's how it works, guys. Did you know if a YouTuber promotes your stuff, people buy it? I didn't know that data analyst from the corporation of whatchamacallit. At this point, they're just all like a homogeneous blob. You know that? Oh, I didn't know that. No, not me. I have a learning disability. It's fine. I'm an SJW, you guys. Whee! Oh, look, this one. Look, Gab Noah, right? Spike in sales. Advertise Microsoft. Spike in sales. So if you Bill Gates, right? He did something like good on accident. If he shows up more and he says, "Hey, I want you to review my OneDrive product," right? There will be sales. See, if you go into tech, you gotta try harder. Amazon, you don't have to try anything. I might as well cover this. That's the problem with tech, right? You got to be nicer because you got to pray the programmers law because you're judging your market rate by the complexity of like how hard it is to understand something. That's not how real world works. Right? Yeah. And this is so Activision gets a spike in sales and it's always seasonal. Everyone's like, I don't know, maybe I'm the dumbass. I don't know. But they always think, oh, it's seasonal. That must be, I'm looking at my time series, right? I'm looking at my demand forecast. It must be seasonal. It cannot be because Review Tech USA covered something and then everyone wanted to buy for like an entire month or a couple weeks. They just say, seasonal. That's got to be it. Let's go present our findings to Bill Gates, right? Right? Or let's look at the Dell laptop CEO. I have Dell because I have a computer, so it's got Inspiron. Michael S. Dell. Let's see. Yeah, Michael S. Dell. Yeah, Dell. I don't know what's going on. In February, all the sales are skyrocketing. Whee! It's not because of X YouTuber promoted this, right? Which makes more sense. Instead of, here's my whatchamacallit forecasting model with like 20 qualitative variables. They're all floating around. Right? I ran some simulations on my forecast. That must be it. I'm corporate. I got a bachelor's of science degree in data analysis. I am a genius right here. Look at me with my studies. I complain to HR all day, every day. By the way, I don't like my coworkers either. So, anyways, let's go look at the competitive environment. Oh, it must be the same. There's no macro variables change during my time here, right? Here in the corporation of Microsoft land, there were no macro variables. There were no big YouTubers. I don't care if I'm sorry. I'm just thinking. I've never heard that on the news anywhere, right? Bill did something good on accident. Assuming this is right and this is not some Bill Gates meme, right? This is what I mean. People do the good things on accident. They do things that help them, and then they don't think about it because they're busy doing other crap, right? That's probably a thumbnail. Bill, if he wants to get sales, he should. I swear to God, he might as well just get an IT support team and just go talk to Review Tech USA. That's all he has to do. Here's my marketing team. Go promote my stuff. Here's my OneDrive. Here's the IT tech support team. Oh, I never heard of data analysis, but I know how to kiss people's butt. Hi, Review Tech USA. I don't know what data analysis. I never sniffed a paper bag through some of these school tests. This is the right way to go. You don't need to pay people 6 figures. Just go to some of the YouTube. They're the only real commercial vectors for you guys. TV, ShmeV, what's there? CNN just cops out, no offense. They give you some ad commercial time and you're just like, huh, Seahawks? My Super Bowl? Where? Right? Meanwhile, the left and right are like, I'm triggered by myself. I'm so glad I'm SJW. I can spam BAM on both of them. They're both disgusting. Right? Who cares, right? They betrayed you too, right? Anyways, I'm sure people are beautiful individuals. I don't care, dude. Just buy me off. All right, so anyways. All right, so, and we confuse it with like, well, and then we add more jargon, right? Oh, there were high levels of customer service during the time we sold those. I don't know. What's the newest Microsoft laptop? Some Surface Laptop 5 or something. I don't keep track. I'm giving you an old example. I'm giving you what I suspect to be a common marketing supply chain ploy that people pull off. It's like, well, we need to switch our supply chain layout, right? Right? Instead of saying, let's include Review Tech USA as an intermediary, right, in the supply chain, we just don't include that at all. We just pretend that doesn't exist. So if I was outside the education system, I wanted to get in because in school you don't have to care about that because they just assume you're competent because of the degree, right? So you just axe those people out. You can get away with that. I can't because I don't have a degree. So how else would I prove myself other than I show you my entire paperwork? You just coast by an assumption. Right, low inventory levels, right? Yeah, we just assume, well, maybe maybe people like the fact that they were low inventory, they're discounted at the time. We just fudge our excuses. We aren't going to do a deep dive and investigation and say, it's because X YouTuber that promoted this, right? We never say that to ourselves. We just say to ourselves, oh yeah, it's because I bought some commercials, right? I bought some web design. That's not why, dude. There's a lot of people who just think they know what's going on. At the very least, they should have pitched the question to corporate, say, "Hey, did Review Tech USA boost Bill Gates' new laptop sales?" Or iOS Dell's I don't even know what's the newest Dell laptop. I'm pretty broke. All right, let's say Dell XP3 139310. Right, I do this for fun, but I'm seriously going to branch off elsewhere. I'm thinking sales. I'm seriously thinking sales right now because I'm doing sales at the moment. There's no way I have the right roster material to sell anything. I love to debate sales models with people and being called full of BS if we actually have debates between the six based on anything. So anyways, I'm looking through this. I'm doing a podcast. I'm going to be putting this all, I don't know where I'm going to put this entirely on. I'm thinking PowerPoint or OpenShot. I'll see what to do. I'm flexible. Anyways, yeah, they really should be advertising this on Review Tech USA. Let's see. There's that other guy I looked up. He looks smart. He has this camera, right? He's looking at all these camcorders. He sounds like someone you should advertise stuff to. He's someone that can make micro. Now, everyone else, I'm not sure. Right? Just because you have like 1 billion subscribers doesn't mean anything. Right? All you know is negative conversion all day, every day. Now, Amazon gets a freebie because everyone's thinking of food when they watch videos. Because we're human beings. We have not really biologically evolved since the agrarian revolution or the Neolithic era, for that matter. We're all thinking of food when we watch stuff. And who else sells food other than Walmart, Amazon, and whatever other food places out there? Or Chinatown. I'm thinking Chinatown. I don't understand things entirely, but I understand what people want, sort of, when I think about it. People do not think of graphical life, right? They're thinking of Amazon, Whole Foods, right? Amazon business with delivery services. They're definitely not. I'm not thinking of laptops, okay? Unless you make that the main point of your video. Yeah. I would honestly, seriously, tools and content, fine, but like food, I bet you is the biggest sales in Amazon. It has to be. I can't really think of anything else. Amazon sold themselves as this customer-centric. Now it has to be sales. Now it's not because it started off as sales. It's because one of their big product lines is sales. See, the rule is anytime you have one of your main product lines be sales, food becomes your main focus without you knowing it. Yeah, and that's kind of the problem. It's always been food. Let's look at Amazon Whole Foods. Right? Right? Fancy Whole Food cashews. Sea salt. Always there in crunch time, right? Fancy whole cashews with sea salt. Fancy whole cashews like planters. Just sell planters. Sell anything. Welch's fruit snacks, right? Just trying to see what like this type of stuff they buy. It's food based now because none of it's made product lines. Food. It's Microsoft. Microsoft's nowhere in the food industry, guys. I'm not seeing anything. Consoles selling well when he puts stuff up. Now everyone else, I'm seeing no sales, right? So maybe the subscribers are offended. Well, we live in a very sensitive society. I'm trying to find the right words not to piss people off, right? Right? And the reality is they're not going to do it. They're gonna drag your sales down. Well, I was okay when Review Tech USA did it, but it's not okay when it's shown on a PewDiePie ad. Here's my middle finger, right? They do flip a middle finger in the ads. You see ad block? And then they don't want to watch it anymore. So you got to make sure you're doing the right thing. For any laptop company, right? You really need to ask yourself, are they actually, you don't ask if they're actually looking at like a YouTuber, if they're saying, well, was the YouTuber correlated with a rise in sales, right? Yeah, so let's look. World's cheapest and amazing. What's this? Camcorders. Marcus Picks. This guy sounds like a good guy to advertise stuff. All right, this guy seems to have a good channel. He's advertising cameras. Probably not the only thing he does. This is the type of stuff he would do. Right? This is one of those things. It's awful, but it's true. You can't just look at the number of subscribers and just throw money at the screen. It doesn't work like that. It's never worked like that. You got to look at whether people have an interest in it. People never say what they mean. That's kind of the thing I don't like about this universe. Right? This is one of those examples of, well, I have people watching, but even then, they don't say what they mean to the social media influencer. That's why there's the term conversion rate even exists, right? Because people don't say what they mean when they like something. That doesn't mean anything, right? Where's the money, right? CEO, got to think about that too. How committed are you, right? And if you make your main focus, right, now, okay, now it's like, okay, I'm actually committed to actually wanting to buy this product. Like, I need this product. When you make the main focus, right, that product, now you feel like there's an actual need. When you watch Pewd's vids, there's no need. You just have hate. It's more of a liability. See, you got to target. Pewd's got video games. He should get video game sponsors, right? This is how you use YouTube the right way. You do it the wrong way. Just throw money at everybody, right? And it's like, look at my cyclical data. Seems pretty good. My cyclical inventory. Yeah, let's just go get some safety inventory. Must be the same like every other day. And it's totally not because we should completely drastically reduce our numbers because of some YouTuber retired, right? That normally advertise our stuff. It does. You if they retire, you need to put your cyclical and safety inventory to 0 for that product. That should not be anywhere on the shelf, right? If you only have one YouTuber that's proposing your product in general, that should not be anywhere in any of your warehouse layouts. That shouldn't be anywhere within the WMS system. That shouldn't be anywhere, period. Right, my personal opinion, you should be out of work, right? Right, you're employed by an employee. It's like a sin, right? It doesn't matter what your complaints to HR are. You still need to provide a service to the company. I don't know what happened. Anyways. So let's look at so everyone always attributes falsely, in my opinion, at least half the time, like an increase in sales based on seasonal. Oh, it's always good in March, but what if it was because of a YouTuber, right? What if it's not seasonal whatsoever? Then you have to redo your entire schematics, right? your entire time series. I don't know everything about demand forecasting models or supply forecasting models or whatnot, right? But I can tell you when it's a mirage, right? Because the competitive market environment immediately shifts, right? Right, the supply shouldn't be high, right? Neither should the demand. And within the supply transportation network, it needs to shift too. The entire transportation network needs to start shifting. That's easy to do. You just have them shut off. Just delete the product ASIN number, right? Just off the list. Yeah. See, so let's go at production scheduling, right? Needs to change. Everything needs to change. Everything needs to change. Facility management needs to change, right? How the data scientists or the supply chain people make decisions, they all need to change, okay? Because social media is a very big deal in the supply chain things. If you have no one advertising for your product, especially if it's tech, you literally should just burn that supply chain layout, right? If it's for that product, especially exclusively focused on making that product, you need to burn that. That is how powerful a social media influencer is. Because I am not seeing any selective, targeted, focused advertisement anywhere else, right? TV, where? You just show an advert for that, and then what? That's not as effective. Because you're falsely investing, in my opinion, into these other YouTubers who get turned off, right? They tune in more to the net. So their amount of hate they have because they're seeing their ads on the net outweighs the amount of love they have when they see it on TV. Seriously, compare the amount of time you spend on the net compared to television. It's probably at least twice or 3 times the last I checked. No, you can't do that. Doesn't matter if the sales are bad. You work for free until the sales look good. You have to. Look, your goal is to make sure your company sells units. I'm sorry. I've always known that. I never wanted to call people out on this at all. As an SJW, I see a sense of entitlement among non-SJWs, which make them act like worse SJWs than the SJWs themselves. Even within the non-voting bloc, it's incredible. Your goal is to make profit for the corporation first and foremost, legitimate profit. We can talk about everything else later. Right? That's your job. Okay? We can complain about fake news on Glassdoor later. Let's have some transparent data, and if you can't fix it, make it public. Get some advice from small business owners. Take the gamble, right? Take the risk of being fired and shot and killed. That's your job. You're a supply chain guy, yeah, you need to do that. You want to beat the curve. You don't want your company just to last 30 years. You want to break the cycle, right? No, it's time to call these non-SJWs. They're the most triggered SJWs out of them all. I don't even think the SJWs are even that angry. Right? We just complain about civil rights stuff. These people just complain about your cash in your coffers, right? They've already understood about this kind of game of providing service. Right? You sacrifice all to your leader, and then you can complain once you produce your results, right? That their leader claims you need. At least I think so. At least for the big thought leaders. Kathleen Kennedy just wanted to ride the wave. That was the best way to talk about her. I didn't see anyone. I just saw her defend her. I just know she's just trying to ride the wave. That was the best way to talk about it. A lot of people like to ride the wave. There's always wave riders in every movement, dude. Right? A lot of the normies are wave riders. Doesn't mean anything, dude. It's kind of like you have like a YouTube viewer. He's watching stuff. He's not paying money to Pewds. It's the same thing. You're not giving any capital. There's no capital. Those people. You see any normies in any party? Are they giving you money to those influencers? It's the zealots who give money. It's always been them. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, you bring it up. Of course, people hate each other, but I mean, it's always the 5%ers that give a lot of money to the party. The true loyal ones are the ones that actually drive the engine for the other ones are just. I can guarantee you right now, the loyal ones always drive consumer opinion. They always drive the court of public opinion, right? You only need 10% to cause a mass shift change paradigm, right? Same rules for voting, like 40%. Right? So, and if we have the right seasonal data, we can have proper delivery dates, product substitutions, right? Back orders, forwarding pretty well, right? Bill would. He would have accurate data. Could he do this if he were to restructure today and he were to get... This is a big debate I've had in my mind because I know people, when they get a college degree, they don't really know what they're saying. Right? They're just all talk. I'll admit, so am I, right? That's why I want legitimate experience. So I am not all talk. I'm also real results, right? I want legitimate results. This degree is not but you know what the thing is with a degree? Everyone just assumes. At least as far as I know. That was the general pre-established quota, right? The old order. I'm outside. I want to get into the old order again. Right? So how would you redo this? This is easy. Just get a supply chain club, get some high schoolers. Just get people off the bat, work for free. And that's how you restructure. Voila, get people from Youth United. Now, you want to know why that's a bad debate? Because if you're debate this business model, you're fighting against people who are like, well, I need something established. What feels comfortable to me, right? Customers feel more comfortable buying products from someone who has a bachelor's degree. It doesn't matter if they're the same competency level, right? What about the courses? Right? Right? The online courses may not be as high quality. Maybe that club teaching is not as high quality. But if you have the higher risk, right, maybe you might try the other model. That is where the real debate in business models are. Maybe high quality. Now, I haven't seen any evidence that people will flock towards someone with a bachelor's, but maybe there is. Maybe the bachelors can put up like 5 times more production quotas than the non-bachelors. I don't know. And when you're truly desperate, you want to shift to that model. Now, people might say, well, I don't want to shift. I want to just pull out and throw money into the screen right now. No, that's where the debate is, right? Within that macro movement. That's where the real debate is. Some people might want to iterate slowly. Right? Yeah, the generate a purchase order. We have them do purchase orders, have them set up Microsoft. Doesn't have to be officially Microsoft if you want to protect yourself from liability, right? Start a Facebook group, start filtering out. Give these laptops for free. Right? Do it through a government school voucher program. One doesn't need to be in the public school program. Test it out. See what happens. Make your main focus these laptops, right? This is how you move. Right? So you have order delivery dates, product substitutions, back orders, supply chain to customers. Right? You got to forward it. Have them set everything up. This is easy. You see some of these. So I'm reading this book, ebook, right? You don't need like a course for do this. Just go over some of these chapters, right? For supply chain operation. Have them A/B test. If you want a Peroba style like college like supply chain network, right, for your company without a corporate staff, you just do that. Pay them $8 if you really want to pay, right? That's where the debate will go, right? Now, if you don't hear a sales debate about that, in my opinion, I don't think you have a sales team, right? But the computer programming team should offer a hella cheap model, cheaper than the sales, and the goal is to not actually believe it, but to actually offer a bunch of models. The sales team does the same, right? Expensive, cheap, and they debate with them over it. Now, if they don't have an idea, you should be adding counter arguments to your model. That way you give the CEO, your goal is to give the CEO revenues to think about new ideas. Your goal is not to be the big guy. Your goal is to allow him to brainstorm. Your goal is not to be right. That's the problem I have with MBAs, but you know what I mean. That's what I do, right? If you can't get there, you don't have an ego if you don't have a degree, right? So kiss their butt more. Give them ideas like, hey, this is cheap, this is expensive, this is in the middle. I present like 5 different models. You decide. Right? And if they ask, hey, what do you think? I don't know yet until I get data from these other 6 departments, right? Of course, I don't have executive decision to do that. And the reason why is because I could A/B test and switch between these models depending on the circumstances, right? Depending on my seasonal or cyclical data. Right? I'll change my mind because not all models are a good idea. It always depends on the context. I can literally, because supply chain are all talk. So I can literally sell you anything convincing. That doesn't mean I'm delivering a real result to you. That's you get the talker to execute. Right? You need to give, I can give you that, and then you decide on what's real. Right? Because I don't want to give you a trap where you're stuck in a fragmented, slow-moving market, right? Where you're not making money. You do have an independent distributor, independent retailer, right? And a transportation company, all these, but I don't want to give you that trap, right? Where it's slow and you can't make sales. Because Microsoft kind of is in that trap right now. They're stuck with an OS operating system. They should be branching out to fast food or something, right? Bill's doing some pretty, well, he didn't do it, but sometimes you do things by accident. You need to go focus on people who advertise mainly tech. You can't just go, what's his name? Social Blade? I don't know. Who are the big YouTubers these days? I don't pay attention to YouTube much. Jacksepticeye, him, right? Don't like this guy. Let's see. I'll show you some examples. Amazon, doesn't matter. They'll always get sales from YouTube. It's just because they have food. They're just a food place. They're just a fast food place. When I was coming on Stike's video, I posted like Wendy's butt or something. That's basically Amazon in a nutshell. It's just a food place. That's all. It's just a food with like tits. It's really what Amazon is. That's what happens in any industry where your consumers are basically, their species is Neolithic cavemen. It's just food. It doesn't matter. It's going to be food as your main product line. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't avoid this. It is food. Amazon is probably one of the best distributors for food somewhat. They give it a higher price tag because it's sort of in tech. And they were kind of like the first, right? One of the very first. That's kind of added product listings of this scale. With an extensive DSP network. Now, I think eBay could have taken it. But I think it was too risky for the eBay CEO. It's not always worth the money. Right? They're also comparing sellers, right? You notice that. They're the first one, probably the first e-commerce store where they're actually comparing which sales from other e-commerce stores are cheaper than the others, right? That's one of the biggest things that, if not the biggest thing that made them special, that made them stand out. It was their ability to compare between other e-commerce stores on which is cheaper, which isn't, right? And compare, and not just that, it's the first supply chain company that's actually made the closest, or that's attempted to actually do a kind of side-by-side comparison of all the supply chain distributors, right, through the product recommendation feed. They're talking about the global supply chain because they're giving you item recommendations, right? They're probably the first one. I could be wrong. That's why their price tag, their stock is so high. Now, the choke is when you're the first one, it doesn't matter if the others copy you. It's too late. Shopify, Etsy, they don't really do that. They're also the first one with they're the first one that allow you to openly email market. It was sort of a thing. That's why their stock price high. Now other companies not so much. They follow. And when you're the follower, you're the loser, right? Now, you still get sales, don't get me wrong. A loser in terms of stock price. Not sure about Q1 and Q4 or quarterly earning reports. That's a different story. Right. Snacks variety pack. Make sure to go those. Like these type of things. These are the things people buy. The Amazon store, now it may not make as much as the website, but what it does is it gives you real-time profits. See the goods physically leave. I don't know. E-commerce, fishy, skeptical for some reason, like I said. Carbonate low seeded bread, right? That's not money. So here's what I think. Amazon, if they want to go higher, start opening their own restaurants, right? We're not even anywhere there because it's going to be food oriented given that most of the sales are in food. Pringles potato crisps. Right, get stacking, right? Stack up for something, right? Stack up for the game, right? Just these kind of stuff people buy. Amazon restaurants, Amazon airport food. You need to go there. This stuff about cannabis, weed, it's not really. It's not really the right direction to go. Anime trailers, Zero Lane, that's with Amazon food, that's the right direction to go. I mean that for any company, right? Amazon Seahawks commercials, right? Wild Seahawks, wild hot cheerleaders riding on horses, right? Eating Amazon food, right direction. Whatever I see on Twitter right now, I don't know. Yeah, go buy Pringles. Pretty good product for Amazon, right? I don't hate Amazon. It's just what life is. I guess they're seeing karaoke. I guess Amazon's seeing karaoke right now. Right? Group of emojis. Right? This is not what people need. Give a supply chain commercial. Talk about product inventory for certain items. Say, hey, we're low on stock. Let's do a wide fire sale discount, right? I don't see anyone, but yeah, shoot, just go. Whee! It's Black History Month. Pringles get 80% discount all the e-commerce sellers. They're jumping inside a pool of Pringles, right? There's nothing. What am I seeing? I'm seeing nothing. I'm seeing virtue signaling. But you're an SJW. You're hungry. You need food. You can't always rely on food stamps, right? Right? I see nothing. I hate saying that. Play 50 Cent on repeat. Okay. You're basically food-based now. You're not movie-based. Movies end up being food-based in the end, right? It's kind of a supplementary gift, right? It's just what we are as a species. We just consume food. Proud of the fact that Amazon has been, well, that's okay. But like, I kind of need, that's not Jassy's job. Your job, Amazon, Twitter check mark, is to sell goods. And his job is to be. He can if he wants, but that's so awkward. You have an Amazon Twitter handle. You're supposed to be the awkward guy, not Jassy. Jassy can be proud of being in a minor company. That's different. He can go do his own personal Twitter feed if he wants. That doesn't matter. Now, Amazon Twitter, that's a different story. Needs to be more target focused. I want to see some cycle inventories. If you can't do that, you might as well do corporate stand-ups and talk about get the F away from me. 6 feet, right? Might as well be immature at this point. Right? Product inventory location. Let's all talk about certain those distribution centers. Maybe they have a high volume of Pringles. Maybe you want to drive there, right? We should be talking about that. It's like a Black Friday sale for Amazon. We don't want these as returns. Why do that? Why waste, right? When we can make some green, right? Minimize your loss for the e-commerce. Now it's like, well, you can sell it at a loss. I'm sure something can be negotiated. Maybe to get some gift cards. I mean, it's not like maybe you just junk it entirely before. Actually, people don't care, dude. Who cares if it's like 2 weeks past the expiration for a Pringles chip, right? Just go. I'm hungry. Who knows? And if you build up enough of a catalog, who cares if it's 2 months? There's a lot of Americans, they're willing to die for like a half-used plasma screen TV. Who cares if you have to travel to like Texas or Kansas? I don't care. Take an airplane flight. There's definitely enough people. Just have Amazon Prime board, maybe higher ticket. I don't know, some special ticket price deal, right? Have some cash for clunkers program. This is not rocket science. I don't know what people in a bachelor's degree do. Maybe they're talking about that, right? I'm just being very nice. At least talk about it. Who knows? Maybe you can sell some laptops that are about to not get sold by anyone, right? Maybe you promise the e-commerce, right? Hey, I don't have to offer you a gift card. How about I offer you another job? Or flexible in compensation. Aggregate forecasts. Yeah, this is part of called aggregate planning, right? I'm just looking at the big picture here, like what we should be doing. Inventory management, right? So let's look at growth in market size. So here's the other problem: product promotion and company cost structure. Like I said, we need to change everything, right? We need to redefine peak periods and slow periods. We're defining that based on what YouTubers do. Right? We got to look at which YouTubers to promote. Right? Which social media influencers. That would define our peak period. It's not necessarily some people only want to buy in one season, right? I'm not seeing that really on any corporation. Like, they don't really know what social media is. Because if they did, there probably wouldn't be a censorship question. That's just a product of people with college degrees who aren't really thinking. It's just a game of passive aggressiveness, right? That you normally see in any family unit. And it's basically, hey, look, I have a wrong point of view. Or, hey, look, my revenues are drying up. I'm not making any money for subscribers. Let me make a BS excuse so I can tariff everyone who's making money above me. That's the same excuse. People need their money. They need their cash now. How else are you going to do it? There's no moral right or wrong. You just need money. Right? Kids don't. A bully has no sense of morality, right? It's just what it is. Who need cash? They feel like they're entitled to. We live in that society. Right? So, yeah. Yeah, and I want to see if they can automate it. See an automation system. Look at a zebra phone. Seriously, ask for the GitHub code of that. Maybe you could have a Montessori school debate the cost of a GitHub phone. Maybe you could save money, form a club, get a zebra phone. You got your own WMS system with Bill Gates, right? I think a WMS system can be defined by a zebra phone. Get a charger port for it, get some USB cable, get an Excel thing, and have all the Excel take tabulations, right? Right? Enter the order data once, only once, like automate it. Make it visible. Right? Right? Just 4 rules of order management, right? Just come up with this. Make this chart, right? You see this, the management essentials of supply chain management. Enter the order once, only once. You don't need a complete standardized textbook. Present some models. Let the billionaire think about this. And help have the volunteer force be a way of filtering out applicants, right? In case you're desperate. Because then the job recruiter, if you need one, will then be like, I'm looking for a specific type of supply chain guy. I'm not going to go look for a random guy with a bachelor's degree. I'm looking for certain projects. That is how you get the one you want, right? The type of projects I want are people who understand certain social node networks. Here are my quizzes. Here are my tests. I don't need someone with a bachelor's. I need someone with maybe boot camp experience I'm okay with, right? This is how you get people that you actually want. When you start basing your requirements on projects, as opposed to, here's the software architecture, you start getting people you want. Because the joke is those people will always be willing to compromise, right? If they're working within the same, if they've done the same project before, right? TL truckload, anyways.